today we're going to be talking about dating.
Maybe you should take the initiative and compliment somebody's ass.
I cannot really kiss before I know the person.
Who should text first?
I was catfished once.
It was so much fun with this guy.
He's my man, I don't want to be strong.
I don't think I'll ever fall in love with you, but I think you're hot, you know?
Hello everyone!
Hi, welcome to another episode of
Bark if you understand!
Bark If You Understand.
So excited to have you on our fourth episode already.
Fourth episode, that's insane.
Oh
I
my
think me
God.
dancing in the beginning becomes already our tradition.
Exactly, and singing as well. Last episode you started singing, remember?
Yeah.
It was so nice. But for that you need to get a little tipsy.
At least for something, I did my vocal lessons.
Yes? You started local lesson?
I did this for a long time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, you are a singer.
I am a singer.
Cheers! Cheers, guys. It's becoming a nice tradition to drink on the podcast.
Yes.
This is how alcohol is.
If we will have problems with alcohol, that will be probably because of this podcast.
Well, let's be honest, no. Well,
Yeah.
you know, I like my wine. I like my champagne. I like my Prosecco.
And I
You
like
know
my
what?
boys.
Yes, my voice, because that's the theme of today's episode.
Such a good segue.
I know, right? Good job.
Yes.
Because today we're going to be talking about dating. Dating in Berlin, dating in Europe overall, because that's our experience, right?
Yeah. I
And-
think in our first or second episode, we've been already talking slightly about dating.
Yeah, we need to put here like an extract where I'm just crying.
But so we've been thinking that it would be nice to actually open up this topic once again, since we have, I'm sure, a lot of girls in our audience that are going through the same stuff as we're going, and probably for some guys it would be also interesting.
Yeah, to hear the girl's perspective actually, because you know what I get from the boys is that they have no idea what's going on in our heads, right? They just really don't know, and sometimes it's the thing we also don't know, but we just feel emotions and we're upset. And
I have no idea what's going on in a lot of heads, actually.
True. But yeah, dating is the thing. And especially dating in 2024, I think it's especially a thing because I don't know, I feel like our parents didn't have it so hard, probably.
You think so?
Do you think so? No.
Yeah, probably. I think,
Things have been much more simple, you know?
yeah, it's true. Also, they didn't have such a broad choice. They could
Yes.
not choose like from anyone in the world, you know?
Exactly. And now it's just literally you go on your Raya profile and you just like window shopping.
Yeah. And
That's actually how it feels.
And
You're
actually-
literally shopping.
yeah, and actually Raya is even like a closer community than, for example, is Hinge or Tinder. Tinder is like literally anyone could enter it.
I haven't been on Tinder since I'm like 20. I'm 28 now, so yeah, I have not been there for such a long time. Because you know, I used to live in the UK, and I feel like in London, Tinder became just like a trashy app. To be honest with you, I mean, like at least it's my perspective. Yeah, because there are already more progressive apps like Hinge and Bumble. Is it called Bumble?
Yeah, it is Bumble.
Yeah, so I was using those mostly when I used to live in the UK. And yeah, but Tinder, lots of catfish, it's unfiltered. I don't know, like I don't know, it's not the vibe anymore.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But I guess Tinder probably has the biggest volume, so it has like almost anyone. I think Tinder became almost a synonym for dating. So for if you are thinking of dating app, first thing that comes to your mind is Tinder.
Yes, obviously, because it's like the first pioneer that actually even made this business model. Like it's the unicorn startup and everything. So of course it's the thing, you know. But the
Yeah.
thing is that I think that they are too inclusive and they're not filtering and not really validating the profile, verifying the profiles, right? That's the problem. That's why, for example, I remember I was catfished once on Tinder when I was 20. I was talking to a guy and he pretended that he came from Australia for a weekend in London, and he was like, show me around. And whenever I said like, okay, let's go, I'll show you around, like it's actually cool, why not? I love adventures, let's go. And he kept on kind of pushing back and saying like, oh, sorry, like there is this and that. And he was sending me pictures. And then I realized he was a catfish. And actually I told him, I said like, you show your real
How
face.
did you realize this?
It was 8 years ago. I don't remember exactly, but something that he was just behaving shady. And also he was sending me some pictures that, for example, in the evening, he said like, oh, I made a selfie, but clearly there is a daylight. Something like that. I'm a Sherlock Holmes when it comes to this kind of things. I can get my ways, So like, basically, I decoded him quite fast. So yeah, and he was a catfish, and he was just some guy from Pakistan. So basically, I actually feel so sad because can you imagine how much you don't love yourself and how much you actually reject yourself on so many levels? And to pretend to be someone else. I understand that,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I actually even said to him, I'm really sorry, but yeah, that's like not nice. It's crazy. So, but yeah.
Would you do something like this? Would you like maybe like out of curiosity use, some maybe like influencers pictures or something like this, like somebody who looks exceptionally beautiful, I mean like out of this world beautiful, like perfect beautiful? Would you do something like this, use this photo of like another person and see how people are reacting to that?
No, genuinely right now I don't have energy and time for this kind of shit. That sounds like some sociological bless you, sweetie.
Thank you.
Yeah, some kind of research, like sociological like research where you would I don't know, like do statistics or something. But yeah, I mean, I'm not curious what they think, and genuinely,
I guess I also would not have time. But I bet there are many people who are also like creating this kind of profiles, just because they're curious. Maybe
do they?
I think I'm sure.
Do you have the account on Instagram, like a side account on Instagram?
I don't.
Where you check out guys?
I don't. Do you?
No.
Me neither. We're so boring. We don't go to clubs. We don't have.
We go.
Shady
Last
accounts.
episode you decoded me, and like, I go.
We're so boring.
No, we're not.
No, I don't have this kind of account. Honestly, there's nobody I would be that interested in. So that
I just genuinely don't care that much what people think about me. I think that's the thing, because because if you want to make an account, it means that you don't want them to see that you're following them, that you're watching their stories, that you are like basically checking them out. I check people out. I check their stories. I check their everything if I want to. And if they see it, well, good for you. I had some spare time today and I was thinking about you, babe. So why not? I'm pretty sure they would be happy about it.
But coming back to the topic of Tinder, I'm sure
Yeah.
there are some people who are in relationships, but like for a long time or something like this, and maybe they just get bored, and from time to time they're like interested to see like what the hell is going on Tinder, So then they can create a fake account and do the catfishing and use somebody else's photos and see like how.
But I just think it's guys who don't get matches with their own pictures, right? Or girls do that as well. Actually, guys are also exposed to catfish. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Have you seen the film on Netflix?
Yeah, the Tinder's.
No, Tinder's this one, yes, as well. But there is a recent one about it's called like My Sweet Bobby. Have you not watched it?
No.
It's basically about a woman who was catfished by her cousin.
Oh, but I remember this story. I think you told me this.
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And she was even going to marry him. And basically, she was so in love with the guy. And it was a relationship that lasted for maybe, I don't remember exactly, I don't want to lie, but a long time, like something like 5-8 years.
Yeah.
And all this time, it was her cousin who was pretending to be this guy and basically catfishing her, the woman.
Ooh.
That's insane. And yeah, basically, can you even imagine? It's actually your family member as well, your same gender, who did that to you. That's insane.
That's insane. Yes.
Yeah. So
But I think coming back like to more
realistic stories.
realistic
It was
stories,
actually a
yeah.
real story. It's not a film.
No, yeah, but I think
Yeah.
this thing like with creating the fake accounts happens like to many people we know for sure.
True, true. But a good thing is, for example, that's why I like Raya because it's all verified there, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing about the community there.
Yeah, exactly. I think first step out of Tinder was for me was Bumble. And I appreciated Bumble much more the way that the app is designed for women, that the man cannot text you first, so only the women does the
Do you
first
actually
step.
like that? I hate
I
it.
like that in a way that it protects you from all of this like trashy messages from the guys that maybe like you don't liked or something like this, like so like not everyone can approach you in a way, and that the woman does the first step. Also for me, the thing that I liked, that it was not about like deciding who does this or who doesn't. It was just clear that the woman does this, and you're not. It was just like clear that if you have matched, you're sending a message.
They're just waiting. I
What I
think it's
see,
also beneficial for guys because I feel so bad for them.
yeah,
Actually, it's the hardest thing to do the first line, you know?
yeah, it's true. But then there's no dilemma on who does this,
Yeah.
as it is in Tinder. But this happens a lot to me in Tinder and Raya, is that I would get a match and then the guy never texts me and I never text him, and then
Yeah,
we're
then the
just
match
hanging
just
there.
expires or something, yeah?
Yeah, but in Tinder they never expire, so you could hang there like forever. Same in
But even
Hinge.
on Bumble and on Raya, they expire, I think.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
don't
I think
message,
on
they
those,
expire.
yes. So I like the apps that are forcing the first communication. That's good. Otherwise, why are we there? I don't get it.
Well, facts.
Well,
Facts.
I also don't text first, but all right, let's discuss this. Who should text first? Bum.
Bang. I mean, I never text first. Bang.
Explain.
Well, that might be a sexist explanation, but
It was a sexist.
no, but maybe traditional more. But I genuinely
Okay.
think guys should.
It's okay, like whatever you want personally,
You
you
know
can
what?
be
Because
more
I
traditional if you want to.
experimented. Yes, experimented. For example, I had a couple of situations when I used to live in London. Actually, even on the street, I really liked one guy. I was like, basically, it was in a Christmas market, and he was very, very handsome. And my friends were like, "Go and ask him your phone. Go and ask him," you know. And then
Ah.
actually, I was like, "Okay, I never did it before. I never approached the guy myself first. That's never happened." And I came to him and I asked his number and everything. He followed me on Instagram. I think he still follows, by the way. It's crazy. But he never made a second step. Never. And I mean, like a couple of times also, like I would message and it wouldn't go anywhere. For example, I still think, maybe that's why I'm saying it's sexist, because I still think that guys, they have this kind of like pursuing instinct, you know? And in a more like traditional setting, I think that's how it functions eventually, because they want to feel like, oh, they're chasing, they're getting it, you know, something like this. There is this kind of like a, element happening to it. And if a woman is proactive and does it first, well, maybe that kind of kills it for them because they're like, oh, easy one, you know? And lots of guy friends tell me that they're also the same. They're just like, yeah, like whenever a girl is like too proactive, I feel like it's too easy and they lose interest. You know, I've genuinely heard that.
I'm a bit biased here,
Yeah.
so or not biased. I understand both sides. For me, I guess from one side, I agree, and I guess this is where I am right now when it comes to. I think it depends on the reasoning behind it. So if I'm looking for, let's say, a serious relationship or a partnership, I would like to build it with somebody who is. So I'm looking for like a very strong, secure man. And then I guess because of that, because of the type of the guy that I'm looking for and the type of relationship I'm looking for, then I want somebody who approaches first. But at the same time, I want to leave women the liberty and the freedom, to be this confident woman. And if she likes the man, she could be like, why should she like shy in the corner and just wait for somebody? Oh God, I missed my chance. I really like the guy. What if he just like did not notice you, or what if, I don't
Well,
know, whatever.
if you are a confident woman, how can he not notice you?
No, but I mean, like, why to wait for a chance if you could also like take it into your hands? But that depends also on what you're looking for. Let's say you're a single woman, you're in a bar, and you're looking for, an adventure for the night. I don't think that you should be shy. Like,
Have you looked for an adventure for a night?
maybe, if I would, theoretically, if I would,
But practically.
yes.
Let's talk practice, please.
Practically, when I'm looking for, I don't do it right now, but in my younger years, when I would be like just looking for fun, I do not have to wait until the guy approaches me or something like this. Like I would be like, hey, I like you. I think you're cool. But then I would never be chasing the guy. So
Yeah.
I can be like, hey, I like you a lot. I want, here's my interest. And then, he takes the opportunity or he does not. I think that's also very confident.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Especially if a guy is also confident, it should work out. Just, yeah, I think everybody should do things the ways they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And if you are like in the mood, for example, sometimes you also need to feel like that's the vibe. And if you are feeling it, you just go with the flow. Why not? Go and talk first. Do it. You will
Yeah.
enjoy it anyway, regardless the result, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and just overall, my practice is that I don't know. I just take my time to match guys on Rye or whatever, but I never message first because I just, yeah, just don't know. I don't want to spend my energy on that. I want to spend my energy on responding.
But that's again, the reasoning behind it is the type of guy that you're attracted to. You're attracted to more masculine kind of guys.
Sure.
You're attracted to the guys who are more proactive
For
and
sure. I find
who
it
have,
very sexy.
yeah, for you that's sexy. But again, like I think there are so many women that have like different tastes and have different views on this, and then also like all of us are looking for different things. Like we have different reasons. So I just want to leave women this, freedom to take their decisions if they want to.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You should feel yourself first, like feel your vibe, feel your energy, and just go with it naturally. Don't force things. Because
Yeah.
for me, texting first, that's against my natural energy. I feel like, that would force it. I would literally feel like, oh my God, like it drains me. That's
Yeah.
why, for example, I've learned that about myself and I don't do it anymore. I've done it before.
Yeah,
I
that's
told you
good.
stories, right? I've done it in the past.
Yeah.
But for example, if it's for some women, they feel like, yeah, sometimes that's a great way for me, why not? Like, if they feel it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
There are so many different settings in a relationship as well. It doesn't mean that, for example, like also like a man should be stronger, women feel weaker. Sometimes different settings work out for couples.
Exactly.
And, like it doesn't fit into one template for sure. You just need to really know what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But then I also think that showing your interest and chasing a guy are two completely different things.
Yeah.
I think you can come and be like, nice ass.
But actually, I see you doing that.
But it doesn't mean that I would be chasing the guy, that I would be
No.
like texting him or anything like this. Then I still want the guy to do the other step. My therapist says that the flirting and the love game should be a game that it goes like one versus one,
Like ping
you
pong.
do step, yes, and then the other
Yes,
side does the step,
of
you do the step, the
course.
other side does the step. And whenever the ball is on your side, you're not supposed to do the next step that's already overweighting, and then that breaks the balance.
That's for sure. So yes, and I also don't think that all the initiative should come from the guy solely. No, women also should do things, like and actually, yeah, because
whatever
otherwise,
is-
you're also like a human being. You need to be proactive. You need to do
Yeah.
things, but it's just. I think when it's a vibe, really, it should be natural. But just recently, nothing is a vibe. Why?
Maybe you should take the initiative and compliment somebody's ass.
Let's start there. Let's start there.
There are no asses around, I guess.
Well, maybe that would help. Thank you for the advice.
Always welcome. Wise advices
You know
come to
what?
me.
And it's like, I will talk to my therapist later and then be like, that's the game changer. Start complimenting someone else.
And imagine just like 3 months after you're married already.
Nice. I mean,
Yeah.
sounds very promising.
I'm a very wise woman.
Sounds like a good strategy. I mean, yeah, but like getting married is not a goal because technically, okay, I don't want to sound arrogant, but yes, I like there is tension from the male side, right? Like, and quite a lot of guys ask me out, like on dates and everything, and I go and everything, yeah,
And everything?
and everything,
And I go
on a
and
date.
everything.
No, I mean, like, yeah, whatever.
Sorry, I'm roasting you again.
It's a ping pong. It's our chemistry here. Oh, basically, but I'm just getting really tired from that, like you can probably hear that from my voice because it really nothing is a vibe these days. And I really, whenever I go, just there is no chemistry or just, I don't know, because I'm also looking for something particular,
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just not a vibe. Or guys here in Berlin are very particular as well. Yes, it's really difficult to find someone that would match your mentality, vibe, everything. And also, like, for example, on the last date, I don't know, like, it was such an experience, and I'm very ambivalent about it because the guy was very nice, like, great body, everything was very good. But I felt like, basically he was weaker than me in many ways.
Yeah.
It just gives out the vibe. Basically I feel it straight away because this strength is not something that comes for granted. I work on it. I work a lot on my internal state with my therapist, everything. So where I am right now mentally is a hard work that I've done, and I chose to do so. Instead of just complaining, being depressed or whatever. Basically I chose to choose myself and really go deep into my traumas in order to be where I am today.
Yeah.
So that's why, like,
That costs a lot.
it costs a lot, exactly. That's actually a very big process that I've undergone, And whenever, basically, yes, and not all the people are willing to do that, to take that path, and that's okay, I respect anyway. But he started saying things like, oh, if my woman is more successful than me, that's absolutely fine. Or if she's stronger, I'm also not scared. That's absolutely fine if she's stronger. Basically, all these kind of things. And I was just thinking, but what do you have to offer?
Yeah. And he already gives it up on the first date,
I know.
I think in a relationship it's okay, and I think it's very seasonal when the power, is switching, like
Of
somebody's
course.
stronger at some point than another person. It's okay if you're on maternity leave or it takes the paternity leave or something like this, like when
It's
it's
a
like
partnership,
switching, it's a
right?
partnership, yes. But here it's like, oh, I already have much less to offer.
But I'm fine with that. I will not feel insecure because of that. You can be stronger, you can be more successful, you can work harder, but I will just be there for you and do fucking what? That's
Yeah.
my question. And do fucking what?
Sounds like a parasite.
I know, and that's the majority of the guys that, like, for example, I for some reason attract. I don't know why, and that's the thing. And I'm already fed up with it, so I'm gonna, like, really be,
Well,
letting
you're-
it all out.
Well, you're a strong woman, so that just naturally, I think, attracts people and the guys who, want to take an easy way and be with somebody who will secure their life, who looking for mamas. Mama's boys, we love them.
Like J-Lo was singing, "Ain't your mama, I'm ain't your mama."
Don't you think that there is
Ain't
like
your mama boy?
Don't you think that there is like this tendency that like a lot of guys are um have this like Oedip complex, like that they're
Let's
very much
elaborate, because even
mamas.
I'm not sure what's that. You're very enlightened in psychology. Please tell us what's Oedipus complex.
Well, it's basically when the guys did not go through like a proper separation with their moms, and their moms are like over caring and overprotective, and basically they're always staying, mama's little boys. And I think it's such a popular tendency, especially in our society these days, or at least this is something that I have noticed. And these kind of guys, like, oh, they very infant, they have like very infant behavior, and they don't want to grow up, and
Don't want
they're
to take
looking.
responsibility.
Exactly. But the thing is that they're bringing their relationships with their mamas towards, their adult relationships. And they're basically looking how to transit from their mama to another mama who's like you. And they're looking for the strong women. And essentially you end up in a situation when you have the mother-in-law who is like super protective, and she becomes super jealous that her son is taken. And then, yeah, and it's like this unhealthy competition because the guy did not fully get separated from his mom. And unfortunately, strong women are attracting this a lot, but it's also like the ball is also on the side of these women that they're also looking how to execute this power and how to nurture somebody and take care of somebody. So that happens, I think, a lot because we're seeing in our society that there are more and more independent strong women who are beautiful, who take care of themselves. At the same time, they're like making money, they're super successful, and then the guys are just like getting more and more laid back.
Exactly, because they actually don't want to. Is they feel demasculated in some ways. That's true, and there is a problem currently. Do you know Jordan Peterson? Basically, he writes books and he talks about actually this thing that men feel demasculated because of radical feminism, because those women who are just like extremely like self-dependent, extremely strong, like because there should be a balance, like with your man you don't want to be strong really. I want to be strong with my work, with my company, building it, like being strong for my team, for my employees. But with my man, I don't want to be strong. I don't want to be a strong woman there, in that relationship. That's why whenever a man tells me that that's okay, that you are going to be stronger than me, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't want to be stronger in relationship. Sometimes, of course, there are, crises. Okay, of course, it's life. That's absolutely normal. But I want a man to lead, and for me, like in our family, like that's
Yeah.
maybe that's this traditional as well structure that I've seen because I'm coming from the very conservative background. I mean, where my dad he's Georgian, so that's I've always seen that kind of pattern. But my mom supported family in a different way, like, and it's absolutely fine. Of course, for example, I choose a different path. She didn't work I do right now, and I'm very active in my career. I actually am also willing to contribute financially, everything. That's not a problem. But I just still think that the problem is that men don't want to feel responsible for the woman that they are in a relationship with, and that means that you actually need to be also considering her emotional state, like whether how your choices affect her, because these days I feel like men, they just can do whatever shit, and they're like, why are you offended, and whenever you tell them that that's the problem, this is the problem, they're just like, oh, you overreact, or you are like, I don't know, just taking it too close, or you are just completely misinterpreting things, this kind of attitude. And I think that's the childish pattern, because a man in my eyes would be like, let's talk about it, let's find a solution, why you feel that way. I don't want you to feel this way because you are part of my life now, that's the respectful thing to do.
Yeah.
But most men are just children who don't want to do that. And maybe, of course, they also feel like there is a lot of pressure on them, because Jordan Peterson actually is talking about it, that they feel like castrated in many ways by women, because they are also like in a game right now, like earning money, being strong. And psychologically, women are actually even stronger than men overall, right?
Women are psychologically stronger,
But
yes.
that's the fact.
Yes.
And when we are also now given all these powers, like we're able to earn money, do the business, we can vote, we can do whatever we want these days. I mean, so I feel like maybe sometimes this balance is a little bit hard to find. And yeah, it's also challenging for them. I also get that. I don't want to just be like, oh no, like they're bad and women are great, you know? It's a balance. It's really hard to navigate these days, but I think because the society is really restructuring in many ways.
I think like to challenge that.
Okay, let's do it. I love a challenge.
I think that something that I would be looking for is the equality in the relationship. So I'm looking, and again, there are 10,000 different setups, and people are so different, and everyone is looking for something different. I personally look for partnership where I would feel the balance in the way that I'm strong and you don't have to be stronger than me, but you have to be same strong as me. I'm not taking care of somebody, and exactly, I'm not taking any mama's boy because I'm not a mama here. So I definitely don't want to be stronger in a relationship, but I don't necessarily even require that the man is much stronger than me, because at the same time I would feel like disbalancing the power. So I don't want anyone to patronize me at the same time, but I want somebody who is equal to me, who is as strong, who has his own challenges and I have my own, but we come home together and we support each other. So that's, I think, the setup that I want. And for this type of relationship, both of people should be adults.
Yeah,
Both
sure.
should be emotionally intelligent and emotionally mature, which means that mama's boys are not falling into this category, because I think this is still a lack of separation from your parents. So the person has to be fully separated from both of his parents and not playing any games with me on, any parental games with me. So I want to enter a relationship with somebody who is as emotionally mature and responsible.
But that's very advanced, yes. Most people wouldn't even understand.
Which means I'm gonna be single forever.
But I mean, most guys.
Why are you bringing bad news?
It is advanced, isn't it? Sweet, are you okay?
It's a trick.
Because you sound so positive and everything, because you haven't been dating recently. And I have. I have been quite active recently.
Yeah.
Yes. And I see the real picture that's out there.
You don't see the real picture, you see the bubble.
What bubble?
Sort of a bubble.
I mean, real picture in my world for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, we attract something that we, I don't know, expose in many ways. So I also believe in that. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm also on my way. Maybe there is something that I need to work on as well. I don't know. Maybe.
Therapy. Minute of therapy.
Exactly. So that's not the victim mentality. For sure, we're just going to be keeping trying, because keep trying, that's the way. Persistence, consistency, and we will get there eventually for sure. It's just
I believe there is a lot of men like this. I believe there is a lot of mature adult men. It's just currently I don't know where they are, so I'm not as active in dating. But once I uncover
But she
their
actually
shelter,
started her Raya again.
yeah, I think it's gonna be like this. I will be like walking on the street, and then I will see this one cave, and I would be like, "What is this cave? Let's go into it." And I'll be like, "Hmm," and then I open it. Oh wait, the cave does not have doors. Anyways, I entered the cave, and then there are all these men, all these perfect adult men. They're all sitting around the fire, and they're all like. And I'll be like, "Here you are! I found you!"
Very realistic strategy. I mean, like, the first thing I was just like, where is she gonna find a cave in Berlin? Okay, and then she's like, oh, by the way, caves don't have doors. Ah, that was the problem. Yes, exactly. In the first place. But sweetie, whatever. Maybe you're in Portugal or somewhere and there is a cave with those men, but I wouldn't recommend those. It's really weird if
A
they're
cave
there.
in Portugal? Why in Portugal?
Because that's where I saw the caves.
Ah,
Direct association in my brain.
yeah. Well, there are a lot of surfers in Portugal.
Yes,
My type.
not mine.
Call me. Call me if you're a surfer. I had a dream today that I was surfing in LA and I was so scared of sharks.
Really? Are there sharks in LA?
Yeah, I guess.
Happy surfing.
Thank you.
Please come back. We need to shoot the season 2, 3. Please. But if you remember, like, we will take care of Lola.
Yeah, but imagine the drama. Imagine all the tabloids. Everybody would be like, a successful podcast, Bark, if you understand, finished right before. It's season 3.
Gulzada was eaten by a shark. And I'll be like, season 3. Hello, guys. Here's me, a bottle of wine, and now I am an alcoholic because that's too much to handle.
And also, little update, season 3. Now I'm alone.
Exactly.
No.
Taj is a wood.
Okay.
And please don't serve.
Back to dating.
Yes.
So we are both currently on Raya. I've tried Tinder, I've tried Bumble, and then I moved to Hinge. I liked Hinge in a way that I think Hinge has.
Do you have both now, yeah?
I don't have Hinge right now, but in general, I think Hinge has a broader, cooler audience.
Really?
I just think that not many people are in Rye because you have to pay for it, and it's only like it's also a certain bubble of people in Raya, whereas like
bubble. Let's define it. I'm curious.
I think when it comes to Berlin, I see a lot of founders there, or like a lot of business people. Like
True.
I see a lot of like old money people there. I see a lot of football players there,
True.
especially in
I
Germany.
managed to as one today. Remember?
Yeah. Who else? Or like some sort of like I'm a film producer, or like I'm a musician, I'm a model, I work in film, so like very creative kind of people. But I don't think that it's I think that a lot of like cool and really nice guys are out of Raya for sure. Don't you have this that sometimes you don't realize that you're an adult woman? And sometimes like there would be like a guy who's, I don't know, 35, and he would be interested in me, and I'll be like, what are you talking about? I'm 18.
Inside, I feel like that. But
Yeah.
yes, 40 is too much. I still want to be kind of like, I don't know, 5-7 years difference, like something like that. You know? I've
Yeah.
had one case where the guy was younger, like 3 years. I was just a
But
short
that's, I
thing.
think it's also fine. My
But,
therapist says
yeah.
that everything within like
No,
10
it's not
years
fine.
plus
It's not fine.
minus.
It wasn't a good experience.
Okay, but like generally speaking, that everything that is like 10 plus, 10 minus is like okay.
Yeah, 10 plus. It
Yeah.
was already more than 10 plus. It was
More than 10 plus is already a bit alarming.
And also, like, it's alarming, and also just like there are many questions that arise, like, why are you single? Like, why you have no children, or like at least like no like family record or something? And he's like, oh, and I have 2 best friends, and we're like 3 musketeers. We go to like where does it go to Tenerife every winter, and we are there together. I'm like 3 musketeers. That doesn't sound cool because that's really weird. You are 3 40-year-old guys like hanging out together all the time. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just really weird. Something is wrong, because why you don't have relationship, families, like whatever, like what, really weird. So like 3 musketeers didn't impress. And he was talking about it. And oh, you know what else he said? I remember. He said that the fact that I have a dog is a red flag. I'm like, what the fuck?
3 musketeers is a red flag, honestly.
Yes. He said like because he's a lawyer and like some psychology also involved, and he's like, that's because people are like afraid of emotional vulnerability and clothes, and that's why they get a pet. But you cannot put everyone under one breed. Like, come on.
Let's talk of the cringiest dates that we have ever had.
So far, all the days I'm telling you about are cringe, okay?
But the cringiest.
Okay, you first.
No, you first.
Really? I keep spilling all the beans. You have not even told us about one date. Why is it all about my life? Um, the cringiest. There have been some, but I feel bad telling about it because now we're like friends with that guy. But at the moment it was cringe, and okay, it's still the cringiest. So, but anyway, no names. All the characters you hear about are fictional. But anyway, okay, I will tell it quick. So basically, we were in a couple of dates. In the very beginning, I thought he was a very nice guy, but he was asking me a lot about my startup, basically, about my company. And he was asking me a lot of questions, and I didn't even basically come there with that kind of. Intention to discuss working relationship or whatsoever, because
Yeah.
obviously I'm there for dating, for romance, and everything. That's my interest, right? But he was asking me a lot of questions, like how much money have you already invested in this, because we're bootstrapping and investing my personal finances into that. So how much have you already like to into that and this and that? How basically you are approaching clients? How like you, because also said like for investors, I'm like working on financial planning and everything, and he basically has a financial firm. And and basically after 2 or 3 dates, and on the third date we kissed basically, and on the next morning he's like, okay, I really want to help you because it sounds like such a good project and you're such an amazing woman, and if you are happy, I'm happy, and that's why I really want to help you. Let's do that. And basically next morning I receive an email from him and his colleague where he basically put an offer for me, like an angebot,
Wow.
with the list of the services and like basically the estimate for the workload that I need. Like basically he's doing the commercial offer for me to buy it, from his firm. And I'm like, what the fuck, guy? No, seriously.
Let's mix pleasure and work.
I know. I'm like, that's how you generate your leads on Raya. That's how you do your sales, like, and now.
But I've actually heard that for real, some people do this, that they are getting leads from dating apps. Like I heard of the girl who is working with the investments or something like this, and she goes on dates and she's like, playing all this, like I'm so into you, etc. And then she's like, by the way, I'm working in this investment company. Like, would you like to invest?
Sad story.
Or it was like a trading company.
I
Something
mean,
like
that's
this.
absolutely fine. For example, like I've seen a couple, like, yes, on Rai, you can really do some networking and that's great, but be open about it.
Yeah.
Don't make it sound so shady, like, if my woman is happy, I'm also happy.
One thing is network, another thing is like directly selling something.
Exactly. And I didn't even ask. That's the thing. If I asked and said, like, of course, could you please help? You have this firm. I'm paying for the services I'm buying, if offering, like getting offered, it's absolutely fine. But that wasn't my, my, like whatever it was, like that wasn't intention at all. And that's why that was just weird. And after I said that, and because I actually even said like, oh, you forgot to put a kiss in the quote.
This is also so weird, and you also kissed. And
I know, right? And he said like next morning, like straight after in the morning, next morning he sent that email, and just be like, "Hi, Adelina, it was great to see you yesterday."
Crazy.
As if we weren't like networking or something. We were in the bar, like it was like just really weird. Yeah, I
this
mean,
is
like
really mixed up.
okay, but forgiven because now we're in a good relationship because he apologized and everything, so it's all good. But just still a cringe story, okay? I cannot take it out of my memory right now. I'm really sorry about that. So all the characters are fictional again.
Fictional.
Yes, anyway, so I don't give people second chances in that way, like that basically, of course, romantically nothing can happen, but like, just keep you in my network, in my loop, it's fine. Okay, it's okay.
I don't have the cringe date, but I have a very weird one. I once went on a date, and the guy was a professor of philosophy. He was extremely smart guy, but he was a bit like introvert or like a bit like tightened up inside or something. So I really did not know like what to talk about or so. But to lighten it up, I was like, "Hey, what are you like doing for life?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm a like professor. I teach philosophy and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's talk philosophy." The whole evening we were discussing philosophy. We were discussing Nietzsche and Descartes and all of this.
Because you're a good person to discuss it with. You have degree in philosophy.
I do have a degree, but what if I wouldn't? But anyways, I had to use my whole brain. Honestly, after this date, I had a headache because I was legit thinking. I was like, but what do we do? Like I was thinking about all the metaphysics, like, why are we in this world and what is the reason behind the math and how math is influencing music and all of this, and we were discussing it. Like the conversation was super nice, and I was thinking like this was the most boring date of my life because I was like literally we did not discuss anything than philosophy. But after the date, the guy texted me. He was like, "That was the best date of my life. I've never dated anyone with whom I could
Oh.
converse so easily. So, if you'd like to, let's meet again." And that was so awesome. And I was like, "Hell no, please!" I did not read more books to continue this conversation.
Oh my god. But that's just too deep. Can you be fun and bubbly and
Yeah,
also
this is
like,
not what you want on a date. You
of
want to be
course.
easy.
You just want this kind of like a fun vibe,
Yeah. So
like
after this old philosopher, I met.
old?
He was I think 10 years older than me. He was like closer to his 40s or something like this, and then I was like, after that I met a guy who was 21,
You're like, haha, we're playing all
which
these
was
streams here.
yeah, which was by the way also like a bit cringe because I met the guy on
21
Tinder.
is too much.
It is too much. I met him on Tinder, and on Tinder he was 20, 24, 25, which was
He lied?
okay. Yeah, which was okay. Like 24, 25 is okay. Back then it was not such a big difference. And then we met with the guy, and he was super nice, super cute. We were talking, and then he was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm actually 21." And I'm like,
Darling.
21
Darling.
is very young.
Yes, and also, why would you lie?
Why would you lie? Yeah, it's true. But he was so hot. So I was like, okay, 21, whatever. It's legal. It's okay.
Who even wants to be older than they actually are?
Well, the guys, yes, because like I was much older than him, and he wanted to look better. I could feel that he was 21, but he was super sexy, so I did not care about the age, honestly.
But for me, it used to be a ban, that actually a guy is younger than me.
I felt ashamed after that I like hooked up with the guy who was like so young, and then I said this to my therapist, and she
But
was
how
like,
many years was he younger?
he was 7 years younger than me
Okay,
back
that's
then.
yeah.
Yeah, and I said this to my therapist, and she was like, "Are you kidding? Like this is what any woman would dream of. The younger the guy is, the more cooler you are. It means like the younger you look. It means like the hotter you are. So it's a trophy actually for any woman." I was like, "I'll take that."
Good therapist.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just simply don't know, because once I was approached also on Instagram by a guy who saw me on Raya, but we didn't match because my age category is restricted there. So I don't see
Mine was
younger-
2, by the way.
no, but I don't see
I was
younger guys
strict.
there. But he just saw my Instagram and he just took a proactive step and messaged me on Instagram first. And then on the first date, but he doesn't look his age, and he's
Yeah.
3 years younger than me. But still he looks older, and even like has gray hair and stuff. So but that's why I completely didn't expect it. And when I actually asked him, he's like, "I'm 25." I'm like, well, 24 at the time. I'm like, what? Actually, that was it. I thought like, no, like second date is not happening, and not just because of that. Like overall vibe wasn't it, but
But
yeah.
this guy, he was so mature. He already had like a full-time job. He came on his car, and he looked all I mean, like I have like younger brothers, and they're like his age, but my brothers, they're like children, and he was like an adult man, and I was so surprised. And he was also like so like proactive and so secure with himself. He was from Israel, and at some point I was like, I love hummus. I don't know, like for what reason I just said this. Like I was like, I love hummus, and he was like, say it again. I was like, I love hummus, and then he kissed me. He was like,
On the
yeah.
first date? Do you allow that, by the way?
I did not meet with him to have kids, so
Okay.
it was for fun. So yes,
Okay, we have a different. We discussed that recently. That yeah,
yeah,
it's a different strategy here. Because I cannot really kiss before I know the person, at least. Like,
yeah. We're completely different in that.
yeah. We're a bit different in that sense.
Yeah, I
Interesting. But I think, that we should listen to our first gut, because I used to think like, okay, if it's not the vibe on the first date, if the guy is not that bad, maybe I should give a second chance and go on a second date or something, like especially if a man is proactive. And for example, with that guy, that's what happened. And I'm like, eventually that's something that completely didn't work out, and I wasted my time and precious nerves. But anyway, that's basically what I've learned from the situation, is that I always should listen to my first impression. That's not the vibe from the first date, I'm not going to go on second one. That's it.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, and before I thought like it's good to give people a second chance, like, but no, it's not good.
You use the same intonation as you say no to your dog Sky. No, Sky.
No, Adelina, no second chances to people. No, like, look at it. I will look at the mirror and be like, don't do this shit again. No,
No, but
it.
gut feeling is super, super right.
Yes, hell yes,
We should trust it more.
yes.
I
Cheers to that.
Cheers
to
to
the
that.
gut feeling, please.
Gut feeling. Woohoo. No, I think most of the times from the first sight, I already can recognize what I want from guy. From, for example, this Israeli guy. It was clear that first of all, he's 21. Second of all, I was not. I was in a stage of my life when I did not want to have a serious relationship or anything or any relationship. I just wanted to have fun, and it was so much fun with this guy. Honestly, I had fun. I was laughing. I also felt that, like, I'm just hanging out here with the young boy. I don't know. We're just having fun. We're making music together. We were laughing. He was so bubbly. After this philosophy kind of guy, super bubbly.
Especially you were on the contrast with someone that's just like so stiff and
Yeah.
heavy, with someone that's so just like light and
Yeah, but at the same
dynamic.
time, no high expectations. One day this guy, he just disappeared or something, or at some point he was just like, sorry, I have to go and have fun with my friends or something like this. I was like, no hard feelings, honestly, no expectations, and also my intentions are different, so totally fine.
Yeah, no, that's sometimes really okay, like especially if you just want to have fun, that's
Yeah.
okay, that's absolutely fine. For example, I also had this kind of experience, like I was going through a difficult time at my work and everything, and I was going like just playing the, how's it called, like vending machines,
Yeah.
like going to the cinema with the guy, and it was fun, but I always knew that it's not going to happen anything like serious out of it, and at some point where it just like it's not the vibe anymore, I'm just like cut, because you don't waste your energy and time for people
No.
who don't really
Yeah.
nurture you, so it should always be an exchange,
Yeah.
energetically. And I feel like in my past relationship that was always imbalanced, because I would always give more than take, and actually it was the thing that I couldn't really take that much, but
Yeah.
now I'm learning that, and I'm just like,
Unless you're, tricking the person or like promising something that you were not supposed to promise, then I think it's totally fine.
of course, yes, you
Yeah.
should be honest. Yeah,
But
sure.
then it's also important to be honest with yourself. What do you want from a person? And I think that this is the spot where a lot of girls get confused and they think that any guy that they're interacting with, they're like playing, this wedding scenario. But you don't have to. You can also just have fun. It's also totally fine.
Yes, you
Just be
don't have
honest
to.
with yourself. And if you're, don't don't try to play the game, am I worth it or not, with any guy. You are worth it, and you can just have fun, which is also fine, because a lot of times I think girls, they know that they don't want to marry the guy or something. They don't want to have even like a serious relationship with the guy. But still, if the guy refuses them, or if the guy is not like, all over the girl, they just feel that like, oh, I'm not worth it or something. But like, girl, at the first place, you didn't even want it. Be honest
Yeah.
with yourself.
But that's absolutely fine, Like, we are not $100 to be liked by everyone.
I am.
I'm not. And that's absolutely fine, Like, if somebody doesn't like me, that's okay. So what's wrong with it? People
Yeah.
have types. Somebody likes, like, I don't know.
How do you handle rejection?
Okay, genuinely.
Tell us the story how you've been rejected. Any
Many
recent stories?
times. No, but like, for example, I would go on dates and the guy wouldn't ask me on a second one.
Yeah.
Obviously means rejection. He didn't like me, so that's why like it wasn't a vibe. So he didn't invite on the second one, for example, right? But I also wouldn't like the guy, so that just like it's mutual. And
Yeah.
so, but
They-
I'm so fine with it. I
I
just
think-
genuinely why like okay, yes, it's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. Actually, with that guy, I was on a recent date. I told him like because he asked me on a second date, and I said like I didn't want to ghost him on the first episode of season 2, we were talking about ghosting and whether it's okay or not to ghost people. And I was just like, it's still quite rude. I don't know, like felt bad about it, but basically I wanted to be nice. And I said to him honestly, like, it wasn't the vibe, but there is nothing wrong with you. Just like, I mean, obviously there are reasons why I did not like want to continue that. But anyway, I messaged him and honestly said about it that I want to be upfront and honest, like, sorry, but I will not go on the second date. He was so offended and like basically, but why? Tell me exactly why. But what can I tell? Because you're weak. Like, do you really want to hear that? No. I said like, sorry.
Also, do you want to hear it from a stranger?
I know. Why do you care? Come on, you don't know me. You're the
Yeah.
girl. I'm the girl you saw on Instagram.
Maybe you're insane.
Maybe.
What if you're completely cuckoo?
Clearly, I'm drinking prosecco talking about it on my podcast. Clearly, I'm insane. Don't listen to me. It doesn't matter what I think. It genuinely does. I don't even care. But honestly, and he was so offended, and basically, he like unfollowed me straight away from Instagram and everything. I'm just like such a drama queen, Jesus Christ.
Jeez. Yeah. But rejection is hard. Rejection is super
But
hard.
why?
Because it's hard for the ego, and in general, I think it's in our evolution, that we're
My dad
afraid of
always
rejection.
said that. I'm not $100 to be liked by everyone. So-
Yeah, but you're like very self-conscious. But in general, we're all afraid to be rejected, because then we're not gonna be a part of the tribe, and then we're gonna be alone, and we're gonna die. So
True, but you can be conscious about it, of course. Like,
Yeah.
for example, I was on another date 2 weeks ago or something with another guy. He was German, and actually it was nice date. Everything went well, but like he was talking a bit too much about his family. He's like, I'm coming from such an intelligent family. They're so snobbish and everything. But like, yeah, basically just a little bit praising his background, coming from the I don't know, like clearly successful family or whatever. But
old money.
yeah, old money probably. But it's just whenever you emphasize it so much, and he emphasized it in the first like 10 minutes of meeting me, and I'm like,
Sounds like he didn't have anything besides that.
that's it. That's exactly what I took from that. But he looked like a self-reflecting person, and we actually spoke about like also about some deep things. It was interesting because he was like thinking person. That's why actually still, to be honest with you, I would go on a second date with him, but he didn't invite, and he just didn't like a message or whatever. So yeah,
Are you crying at night?
no.
Be honest.
I am honest, like Victoria Beckham. Be like David Beckham. Like be honest. I am honest. My dad.
We
had
did
a
not
Rolls
have any
Royce.
money.
No, I would be honest. That's the whole reason of this podcast. I genuinely would be, but I didn't cry. I was questioning it. Yes, I was like, why? I even spoke about it to my therapist, and I was like,
Why?
Not like that. I'm just like, I don't understand. I would like to understand like what was the reason, because it really looked like because as a woman you feel whether you're liked by a man or not.
Yeah.
You feel it, you know. But she said actually maybe in that case he was insecure himself, because he also was bringing up quite a lot of, you know, topics about his father, like he's
Yeah.
overpowering him or like criticizing and everything. So maybe because I don't know, whatever, for whatever reasons, like maybe he
But I
felt
think also you don't know this
insecure.
person, and I think it's like unnecessary for you to waste energy to trying to understand
True,
other people and their
exactly.
reasons. You don't know this because, you know, maybe he does not feel, you know, comfortable about sharing, and he felt that he had overshared some information with you, and then he associates you with this pain or whatsoever. But it's such a
It's
waste of
so
energy of
complex.
thinking about people's, you know,
Yeah.
people's cockroaches, as we say in Russian.
Yeah, that's true. Because genuinely, it's never, mostly, like, okay, sometimes it is genuinely that this wasn't a vibe or something, but mostly people there, like, it's not about you, you
You
know?
have no idea.
You should not really take it so personal. So why
Yeah.
cry about it genuinely? And have you seen, right? Like, window shopping, we just keep shopping.
Yeah.
So,
About ghosting, I was on a date once with a guy. He was half American, half German. And the guy was okay, and he was nice, he was handsome and everything. I was on my face when I did not look for anything serious. And I looked at the guy and I was like, well, I don't think I'll ever fall in love with you, but I think you're hot, you know? So basically we were just like hooking up and everything was great. And the guy then he also like stayed over in my place, which I already found weird. I don't like that, honestly. And
what do you want him just to leave?
yes, yes.
Straight after, just
I don't like to sleep in
au
the
revoir,
bed with
bitches.
I don't know, like sleeping with somebody is like super private for me. So, but the guy did not just stay, he also wanted to cuddle the whole night, and he was cuddling me in a way
That would
like
be me. I would love to cuddle you.
with you it would be fine, but this guy, like, I don't know you. And like, this is so weird for me. I don't know the guy, honestly, and he wants to cuddle with me, but he cuddles me like we're already in a relationship like for a few years. And I felt that he was just like desperate for like being close with somebody, etc. But I was like, what kind of game are you playing with me here, you know? Like, you're obviously like, you know, you do this not with me, you do this with somebody else that you imagine or something, because I'm not your girlfriend to do this. Why are you doing this? And then he was like kissing me on my forehead, and I was like, this is so weird, so
Like a
weird.
dead person, you know.
Yes.
That's what
But
they do in culture.
sometimes for me things like cuddles and like sleeping at night with somebody, this is for me much more intimate than the intimacy itself. Than intimacy, I'm talking like I'm in Bridgerton or something, like sex itself. So I honestly, yeah, I think that sex can be like less personal, and honestly, but like cuddling with somebody, that's another like border for me, honestly. So yeah, after that, the guy texted me, and I just never replied. And then he was like, are you ghosting me? And
He actually asked that.
yeah, he asked me, are you ghosting me? And honestly, I did not reply, honestly, because I did not see his message, honestly. But then when he asked, are you ghosting me? Then I wanted to ghost him. Then I was like, oh, this is so needy. I don't know, I cannot. So yeah, then I ghosted him for real.
But you know what? I just genuinely am so confused how to really not ghost people and do it in a way that it's nice to them as well. What do they want to hear that they would just accept it and move on? Nothing seems to work. That's the thing, you know? Nothing seems to work. Because, for example, with that guy, right? Like I just said, honestly, it didn't work. He was upset and followed like in all this drama.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, what do we need to tell guys? Or, for example, sometimes, like, guys, you know, like, follow me on Instagram, they're like interacting with my stories and everything, and just like ask me out as well. What do I say? I don't know, like to be not rude or something. Like what like do you need to say in order for the person to take it? Like just be like, no, thank you, or like what? I just don't get it. Like that's why it's
I
easier to
don't think
ghost.
there is a nice way to do this. I mean, for me, it's always like a line for me here is that were any promises made in a way that like even like did you send any mixed signals? Were you like super nice and being like, oh my god, you're such a great guy? And you know, that's a mixed signal for me. Or if you're asking a
Okay.
person on the second date, that's a mixed signal for me.
Okay, but mixed signals also just sometimes even like being polite can come
Eh,
across as a mixed
yeah,
signal.
obviously, yeah,
So it's
sure.
very
Like
complicated.
if a guy would tell me like, I think you're so hot and like, oh my god, wow, you're so cool. I'm so happy I went on this date. This date goes so well, and then he like disappears. That's ghosting. That's really ghosting cuz like why did you lie to me? But I think that also at this age I would feel when it's a lie or not. But like imagine that you would say to this guy,
Mature
you
women
you would
here.
be like, "Oh my god, this day is so awesome. Like I feel so good. Like wow." And then you're ghosting the guy. Yes, that's a ghosting. But if you went on a first date, you don't know the person, no promises are made, and this is basically the first filter. You've seen the person for the first time. It could be a vibe, it could not be a vibe. The only thing that you can text the guy would be like, "Sorry, I don't think it's a vibe." And I think that's enough. And you don't own any explanations to anyone.
True.
Period.
Period. That's it. Problem solved. Thank you. Hope it's solved for you too, Bark, if you understand. Genuinely.
Yeah. So to close the dating episode, I
Yeah,
think,
to wrap it up.
yeah, we've talked about our recent thoughts on dating. I don't think we could provide any, you know, any structured guidance to you guys, but I think at least it helps to listen what the other girls are going through. Whenever I'm listening to the dating stories of my friends, and I understand, you know, that I'm not alone and people are going through the same stuff. It's such a relief, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. And just, always put yourself first. Always, I think. That's the thing. Always, because I sometimes, I don't know, like, try to be too nice, or like, I don't know, maybe there is a little bit of a people pleaser in me as well, maybe. But genuinely, like, and sometimes I feel like, oh, but how he will feel or something, like, no, how I will feel first now, like, so I just genuinely think that focusing on your feeling, how you are really reacting to that, how is your body reacting to that on the first date as well, it's because they're all signals that you can listen to and already make a decision that you will not waste your time later, and you will not regret it like I did in some ways. Okay, like we don't regret it, it's all experience, but yeah, could have been more productive.
Yeah, but I hope you guys appreciate us being very vulnerable and being very open
Yeah.
and sharing all of our dating experiences with you here.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for watching us. Welcome to a December with us. And we're going to be definitely back with more episodes.
Thank you so much for watching us, guys. Subscribe to our channel,
Tell
like the
us,
episode.
tell us your cringe stories.
Please, yes, share your comments below. Just don't just watch it. Also, give us a feedback. We really, really love it, and it means so much to us.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. We love you, and bark if you understand.
As always, bark if you understand. Mwah.